Hello class, today's learning goal is to make a pinched pot, okay? Pinched pot, and we studied about that last time as well when we were making fish and the frog. This time we're making a turtle shell, so pinching a pot is taking a piece of clay and with your thumbs pinching little hole and turning it around until you get a nice smooth little pot like this. This is called a biscuit. I already put paints that dried. This is now ready to fire in the kiln. So these are all gonna turn into nice glazed paints like these. This is after the turtle was fired. These parts were left unpainted, okay? And it was only the shell that was painted here. And that's how it looks glazed out of the kiln. And this is the part how the clay looks fresh when it was just made out of a lump of clay, like we're gonna use in the class to make our creations. So this is an earthenware clay, and here is an example of a turtle that is made, that is not painted yet and is not dry. So this clay is the same color. When the clay will dry, it will turn into biscuit. It's going to be lighter in color. Okay. That's my initials, Volusia Pines Elementary, MK. Okay, you're going to put your initials and you're going to put a class code like this on the bottom. And see, the color is kind of white and it still needs to be fired. I painted it once it was fired. But I didn't paint it after it was glazed. So the glaze still needs to be fired to look like this. Okay. I got an idea from this little rock. In this rock, you hide your key, under a doorstep somewhere. So it's like a rock key where you hide something. So I thought it would be a good idea to make a turtle that you can pick up something and put a key here too and hide something in there, okay, like this. But it still would be a pinched pot. But if you like this idea better, it's just the legs are attached to the body, to the shell from the side like this, okay. So this is a variation where you take the shell off and you first make the bottom. And I'll show you both ways how to do this. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna start doing is this one. So for this turtle, we need the base, and it's a sea turtle, and one leg broke off here. But you just need to take a piece of clay and flatten it. I'm pushing my hands like this against, I'm not tapping on the table or because it's gonna stick to those tables. It's gonna stick to them. If you try to do this, it's gonna stick to the surface. You will never peel it off. So it's better to do it in your hands. And see how quickly I flattened it already, okay? And I will have these little cutters that we use also for Easter egg cutting with other grades. But once you flatten it, you can take one of these cutters and cut it. It's gonna give you like an egg shape, but that's plenty for the base of the key, to hide the key in here. So that's the good size. The largest Eastern egg is a good size to cut it. And now I'm just gonna take the leftovers and attach it, pull it off and attach it. See, it's actually perfect. First thing I'm gonna do is score it, and you can use the scoring tool or a pencil. pencil will work just fine. So you can have the sculpting tool that I have for you on the tables. You can also use a plastic spoon, and this is scoring. So if you don't do this, the legs might fall off. So it's best to attach it this way. Take that excess off and smooth the edges. See, this way. So that's for one of the side of the legs. I'm gonna pull this off, round it. Maybe I'm gonna make these a hind leg, and this, because it's bigger, and sea turtles have a bigger front arm, see? So first thing, we're gonna score both sides so they have a space to attach, and then push down and smooth the edges in so that it doesn't go anywhere, okay? And I folded the remainder of the clay, and I'm gonna flatten it now to create the other leg, like so. See, about the same size. This little one can be the little tail, turtle's tail, right there, little tail. So I'm gonna put it here. It's kind of like a little pinched. I'm pinching the clay, little tiny triangle, and I'm gonna do the same, score it, and push down and flatten it with my nail. It's like ironing the clay into the base. Okay. Same thing with this leg. Score it first. Score this side. Push down and flatten it nice. Okay. You can also even it out and flatten it with the end of the spoon. See how I'm flattening it, making sure that it's flat. Don't push too hard. Remember, we don't want this to stick to the table, because tables are very sticky and absorbent wood, and your creation will stick, and then you're gonna have to redo it if you push too hard on the table. So one last thing we have left here, and then we're gonna do the pinch pot, is the head and the last leg. So you can form the head by making a coil. This is a coil. It's like a little snake. That's a coil. And all we do is we just like when we're practicing making little snakes or making little snails in class, you know, like in kindergarten. I don't know if everybody got to do it, but you probably did little snails. That's a coil. So we made a nice little coil for the head, a little thicker, okay? And then you're gonna push it up a bit, like that, and then score, get rid of the excess, score the space you're gonna put the head on, push it down, see, and it's gonna hold in place and smooth it in. And you can put the details later. For example, you can make pretty eyes like these, or just simple eyes and mouth like that. So all I do for that, gently pick up your turtle so you can see, and you can put your eye there and on the other side and make a little mouth. Eye here and on the other side, and you can make form a little mouth here, little smile, right? Okay. You can take the little fork or your forming tool or even a pencil, and you can give the turtle some texture like this, or draw little scales like these on the legs. You can leave this part smooth, or you can make any textures you like here too, like this if you like that look, or crisscross like that if you like this look. Okay, so texturize it. And one last piece, I'm gonna form that front leg, and they don't need to be the same size, just as long as it's curvy. If you're making a sea turtle, a land turtle has straight legs. Sea turtle has fins almost. Okay, so I'm gonna score this part, score this, and push it in. See, it almost evened out. It just looks like she's swimming and it's from a different angle. Don't try to be perfect, because we do have a limited time in class and we don't want to run out of time. And I've been already doing this for 10 minutes, so imagine how long it's gonna take you. So, okay, now that we have this bottom part done, which is here, we're now gonna take a piece of clay and we're gonna form a bowl first. So I'm gonna push, I'm pushing with my thumbs, and I'm also rolling at the same time. And I'm applying a fair amount of pressure to make a nice even bowl. And I'm rolling it between my hands to make the bowl nice and even on all sides. Okay, so I'm gonna make about this size of a bowl. Now I'm gonna start pushing my thumbs in and rolling so that the sides will be about even. So I'm pushing with both of my fingers, and I'm extending the amount of the walls by pulling on them. And see, a pinch part is already happening, just so easy. So this takes a little practice if you're brand new to making it, but start measuring how it's gonna fit, and I'll show you from different angles. Okay, and I like how that looks like. So we're making this part, and you see I applied some texture, and to do that you can use the pencil or the fork or the tool and just apply, kind of push in some texture in there in this matter, and it's going to make it look kind of geometrical like the turtle shell. But don't lose the shape of the pot, so don't worry about texture as much, just so that you have this pot. At this point we're going to let it dry. Okay, you can write your name. If you did this kind, you can smooth one part and write your name here so that it's nice and visible. Even a full name would be better, because sometimes initials are not enough, but at least initials and class code. So mine initials are MK and my class code will be VPE, but I'll give you your class code. Okay, and then I'm going to hide it here. Or you can put a symbol that you will recognize for sure. I'll put a little texture around the shell, just a little bit to finish up, like so. And the first part is done. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside to dry. And it's been 14 minutes now. So in part 2 of the video, I am gonna explain how to make the other turtle, which has the legs attached directly to the shell. So it's a little different. But this is the sea turtle, this is the land turtle. Okay, and her tail fell off, so we have to make sure that that's scored properly so that doesn't happen to yours. And I show you how to score. We learn how to make a pinch pot, okay, and we learn how to make a coil. Now is your turn. I hope yours turned out wonderful.